Hey guys, it's Nolan from B4 Barbecue, and today we're gonna go over ribs. Let's jump into our brand new Yeti. Thank you to Yeti for keeping all of our stuff cold. So here at B4 Barbecue, we use St. Louis cut ribs. It trims easier, cooks better, and it's a lot faster for us. So first, we're gonna take the ribs. Keep in mind, guys, these are super simple to use, super easy, super fast. We love them. So now you have this. It comes pretty symmetrical, and that's why we use St. Louis style ribs. We do pay about $1 a pound more for St. Louis over spares, but at the end of the day, we're saving that money back without the waste. When we first started, we used to peel off the back membrane. Now we've learned that it's a lot easier to just keep that on because we cook them tender and it helps keep everything together. You don't even notice a difference whenever you're done. So first, what I like to do is take off the end two ribs. Most of the time, they're just fat and skinny anyway. We don't use them. If you want to use the trim for sausage, great. If not, you don't have to. Then you have this flap right here on the back end. So go ahead and cut this off. Okay, so then now you got your end pieces cut off, you got your flap knocked off. Now you just want to look for that perfect rectangle, right? Kind of clean up all your edges. Make sure everything's nice and symmetrical, even. The more even you make this, the more even the cook is. So that's pretty much it, guys, on this. Cut a little bit of this fat off on this one side. You'll notice that there's gonna be a little bit more fat, but at the end of the day, you have a perfectly rectangle. So now, we use our B4 barbecue sauce, our B4 seasoning, and our Meat Church Texas sugar. We'll use our B4 barbecue sauce as a binder. Nice little drizzle. You don't want to over sauce it. You just want it nice and light just for the binder. Rub it on there. Then we'll take our B4 seasoning, do a nice little light coat over the top. You don't ever really want to over season on ribs, guys. Briskets, it doesn't really matter, but on ribs, you don't want to over season. Kind of creates too much bark sometimes. Now we're using the Meat Church Texas sugar and kind of pat it down so it sticks. And once you're done, that's how that's supposed to look, guys. And that is pretty much it. We don't ever worry about seasoning the back. We just do the top. All right, guys, now that we got all these finished up, this is how they're supposed to look. Finished product. Nice and lightly bindered with our barbecue sauce, the B4 seasoning, the Texas sugar seasoning. Like I said, nothing on the back. That's how they're supposed to look. You don't want to over season them. But other than that, these are ready to go on the smoker. Let's go put them on. All right, so we have our ribs seasoned. We have them on the smoker. So I'm gonna give you guys kind of a behind the scenes, a little tutorial on how we do it here. Ribs go on 5 a.m. We'll put them on the top rack of the smoker. Like I said, we just feel that it does something different to the meat. We've tried doing them on bottom racks. We've tried doing them on top racks. About every 30 minutes, we'll open up the doors. We'll pick them up, give them a 180, set them back down, get the fire going. We're cruising at 250 to 275. Which means the top racks are about 300, which is why we have to rotate. So those stay on there for about 2.5 hours. And then once they get the color we want, and a little bit of pullback, then we go ahead and pull them off. We lay them meat side down in a sheet of foil. So we'll fold that up, throw it back on the smoker on the top rack for about another hour. So now we're at about 3.5 hours total cook time for the rib. After about an hour goes by, we'll go ahead and open up the foil and look. As long as we have that pullback that we want, about 1 inch to 3/4 of an inch all the way down, then we'll go ahead and pull. We'll go ahead and put them meat side up on the bottom rack, because once you pull the ribs out of the foil, all your pepper, all your seasoning's kind of swollen and wet. So if you touch it, it's gonna smear right off. We don't want that. So we go ahead and put the ribs on the bottom rack. We let them roll for about another 30 minutes. And what that does is that takes that bark and it lets it harden back up. So that way we can glaze. We do like to glaze here. After about 30 minutes, now we're at the 4-hour mark. Then we take our glaze that we make in-house and we go ahead and squirt it all over the ribs, and then we brush it on to where it's a nice thin layer. Just want just enough for a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of shine. That's it. Our entire rib cook, start to finish, is about 4.5 hours. Ribs are now done. We're gonna go ahead and pull them off the smoker. I'll show you what they look like. That is how your finished ribs should look. You want the perfect amount of pullback. You want the right type of flexibility without it breaking. So, we'll take these inside. All right, guys, so we got the ribs inside. That's how they look. And that, guys, is how you do ribs at B4 Barbecue.